Hello gamers, sorry that this video took too long. I got COVID which knocked me out for a few weeks. Then it set my energy for a few more weeks. And I want to make sure I took ample time to read all the 466 responses. I tried to get views from everyone. I went into multiple Discords, Facebook groups, Reddit. Since this is a volunteer survey, there could be some bias in the pool of people that answer. I tried to spread out the level of skill and demographic as best I could. Thank you for all your responses, no matter what you said in them. This was to get a gauge of what the GW2 community thought about the in-game instant content, like raids, fractals, strikes. What is and also it tackled the question about what are some ways to increase the player of this content, and it tried to ask in multiple directions, like what can ANET do, what can the community do, and what can the individual do. Also, I just want to make this point. Of course, if people do not want to play this type of content, that is their right, and they should play whatever they enjoy. I enjoy this type of content. I wanted to do a poll because it's very topical in the with the streamers and with the content creators. So I want to give people that are not in the scene the opportunity to share their opinions. The first question of the survey we asked is, do you play instant endgame content? 82.8% of the players said that they play fractal strikes away. These are higher numbers than I was expecting. But my question is, what is the difficulty level? For example, technically someone who does tier 1 daily would fit under this category. However, in most of the radar question responses, it seemed like people have at least do tier 4's difficulty level on the lower side if they say yes. The next question is, how much do you play fractal strikes and raids? The real exciting thing to me about this answer, either 32.5% say every day, shows this will potentially a more significant population for endgame content than perceived, and the opportunity to grow that number even further. The next question is, what do you play mostly if you don't play this type of content? Nothing really surprising you. Primarily open world and some reverse world. The next question is, what are the main reasons why you play fractal strikes and raids? The top three are no surprise: challenging mechanics, loot, and social networks. The rest of the answer can be summarized with these three. They're very similar. These type of people like to be challenged and try to problem solve. It has to be made worth it, because if there's really no point to do it besides the fun, that won't be really popular. And social networks like try to figure out a raid boss or a strike boss or whatever. Think about the Office WCM, where like All-Star and Snowcos all went together for like 6 days, 7 days, trying to figure out how to beat a boss, how to beat the boss, and everyone was there watching. That's what these people are working for that level of friendship building. Alright, what are the main reason why you do not play factor strikes or age? These answers are more interesting to me. Only 12% of respondents say the content is too difficult. That is actually a really surprising and encouraging number because that means the difficulty level is not the problem, it's something else. Like the 17.3% it said that they just had a lack of interest, and that completely fair. And that I think that's the main reason why people are so against the shoe-on play, because they don't want, because it's not about the difficulty, it's about they just don't want it to be difficult. That might sound a little weird, but it sort of makes sense. It makes sense. From these numbers, it makes sense. The social aspect seems to be the main culprit of these responses. Toxicity, fear of letting the group down, the lack of social network. In my opinion, these can be the hardest to fix due to discussing people. However, they are completely in the community control. The next set of questions is aimed to deal with how can we deconstruct the barriers so the people that want to play endgame can have an easier and fun time with it. It was kind of funny how wide the responses were to what ANET and the community could do to help endgame content. Some people put 100% of the responsibility on ANET. The next person will put all the responsibility on the community. What this told me is the problem is not a one fix. It's not so simple as ANET problem or the community problem, but a more holistic that both sides need to deal with. Let's talk about what ANET can do. LG, rewards. Pretty much, they want people are clamoring for an LG update. The second thing that a lot of people want, better rewards for in-game content. You have to have the carrot so that people will want to do raid strikes. Because if there's no reason to, people won't do. Probably like 250 or so people said either fixing the LG system or increasing the reward for difficult content. So a lot of people are saying this. One person said to make a matchmaking system to make it easier to find bugs and friends. I like this idea in theory, but it would be difficult in practice to make sure people have the right gear and build for each role, because it's more open, because people have the opportunity to do whatever they want with the build and gear, and that is good, but it's also causing ignorance in group content, but you never know what people will have, or unless you have guild check, or unless you make the matchmaking, like you can only be here if you have mostly heavier minstrels. Yeah. You can only be a DPS if you have like Berserker or Viper skill and like different stuff like that. But it may but then you, but then GW2 would be more like the traditional Trinity hero tank DPS than the hybrid of the two. So I don't see anything doing that. Also, specific roles like hand cutting, taking by one, and on and on. Is another build or strat or knowledge to understand that people might not get. One respondent said that they could make the boss weaker with the matchmaking system, which is an interesting idea, but again, I don't think if we take the challenging mechanics like the fuse upgraders, I don't think that would work for those people. For rewards and some idea of more unique drops, higher gold per hour, daily rewards. I really like the conversation I had with a friend. He said he wouldn't mind if hard content had more rewards, but he would like to get them eventually not doing the challenging content. With internet update to Strife, rewards for EOD to include antique submarine zones or ads, I think there's a direction of the idea people discussing. Then game players will get 4, mostly like 3, because without the office jumper CM has more than the open world gamers. I think this is still a bit low. I would like to see a raise to be maybe like 5 or 6 as that, or like double or something like that, to make it maybe not double. I would like to see a little bit more, but this is the type of idea. One idea I really like from one of the respondents, from one of the survey takers, was a different commander type for commanders that are willing to help new players. To piggyback off this idea is to make it go on the friends, not based on the commander type. For example, you can turn online away or invisible on your friends. What if you could turn on a mental deck, which will show up on the buff pool? This way people will know who is friendly and willing to help. And maybe even you can add another section to the friends panel, which show like all the people that are online with this tag. For new, like if you come into a game for the first month or so, what if like all the people with this tag show up on your friends list? So you can DM like people and ask for help. I think that is a little far-fetched than having it on your buff ball, and where you can turn off or turn on. Of course, there's no certainty if the person will give good or helpful advice, but it could help. It could help a new player to have more courage to contact someone. Some other ideas that people had that I would like to mention, but not getting too deep. Difficulty tiers. This poll was before emboldened. I think it's like EOT strikes, where there is story, normal mode, and challenge mode. So there's three different tiers of gameplay. Training for specific bosses with little to no reward just to see and practice the mechanic. For example, Doom Green. That would be a good idea, but I don't think it's practical for ANET to do. The next is increase open world difficulty a bit. Keep endgame difficult. Maybe not go crazy and like all the time at GM, like all the time with shoot one all the time. But like bump it up. Open world bump it up a little bit, like EOD is good. Maybe a little higher, usually. I think most people that like challenging mechanics have a fear the internet will just delete challenging content from the game. That's the biggest fear. And it's move around into the content. I think all these ideas fit under the last point, is move around into this content. Okay, now let's talk about GW2 and how we can assist people into this content. Again, I want to make this clear that we are not trying to force people into content. However, I feel like we need to do a better job of inviting those who want to join, but being invited for those who want to join the endgame community. The main point is be kind, not toxic, be understanding, be kind, not toxic, be understanding, and on and on and on. Probably like 300 to 400 responses or have something to do with this. This is by far the number one thing that the community can do. A big community is not doing raid trainings due to LG and not being visible due to general population outside of Discord. The general population only see raid trainings, and then they think raids are draw to why not buy them. I have an idea to hopefully fix this at least for one day, and we will. Once I figure some stuff out, I will make a video of via post everyone. One person said that for a newbie, it is hard to figure out where to start, but once they are introduced, it is way easier. For example, I'm in a guild that literally take new people that never raided all the way through, so they are experienced raiders, like they are willing to like run fractals to get armor, they're willing to help them craft, they're willing to do all these steps so they can raid, and they're willing to buy stuff to help them get gear. They're doing everything that they can so that they can raid in the future, so they can get legendary armor. We need people that are willing to do every step. Like, we need people that are willing to take a new person, get them geared, get them running. We need people that are more semi-experienced, where they have a role, they can train a little bit more deeply. And then we need like experienced players to teach them the final little tips to make them even better. We need people in all 3 or 4 stages so that they can be the best that they can do. The one thing I took away from all these comments about the community is that it's very multifaceted, and that the community needs to eat it from all sides to make it work. We need to foster more commanders that are willing to train. There is not one perfect way to train a group. Everyone has their style, such as some raid trainers like to have roles and a few helpers to guarantee success so the trainees can have a taste of the success and feel like it was worthwhile. Others do it kind of role, kind of do it with no guilty, very few helpers and just go in. They of course they explain the mechanics, but it's more like whoever comes, and we would deal with it. And they could fail on it and might not get a kill, but as long as you explaining the mechanics and like making them understand how you do the boss, then that's a success. Both ideas are what the community needs for different people. Because some people need that carrot to keep going, so they need to feel like they win. Other people need it to be explained very deeply, and they might not have the best skill, so you need to take it way slower so they understand what is going on. So both sides are what they need for different people and for different personalities. Another thing I took from the poll is there needs to be a burst in the open world to increase player skills. Again, nothing forced or nothing like you have to play this or you suck. But more like if an in-game player is already doing a hero point train, he or she can say, hey, congrats on your new spec. If you want to talk about ideas about what builds you can run, feel free to DM me. A new player or a casual player to have the opportunity to DM him. And it's talk about ideas about your build. It's not like this is the best build, so you must run it. It's like, what are you thinking? What do you want? Oh, you only do open world? So maybe talk to them about Celestial. Maybe if they wanted to raid, then talk about raid builds. Go always figure out what they want to do and build and set up your build for that. Also, you have to be you always have to in the mind what gear they have and what build they can make immediately and what future goals that they could do. So to make a better build or make a build that I really want. This is off topic, but to me, this is how I play the game, is to get almost heavy builds in a game and can play it. That's my goal for the thing. Because that is a good goal, because then you have multiple characters and you can play multiple things, you won't get bored because you pretty much make it vertical progression, but like horizontal. Is it the right thing? I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, some other ideas from the poll. Grow boost of expectation through LLG so people know don't use abbreviations. Actually, like sort of spell out what you want. More resources. Open. Be more open to semi-experienced players. Don't be bounded by the meta. If someone bring like a sub-open, if most raids will not die to bad direct sub-optimal builds. If someone bring like a if someone bring quick opener rather than a quick burn, it's not the end of the world. They can still play and do fine. If someone bring a heal tempest rather than a druid, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. You will clear it maybe even better because you could clear it even more better because most of the time the sub are more survivability and more healing and more defensive. So you could clear it faster. So the next point is find a social network. More training, minimal drainage. Stop setting up extremely high expectations for those who are new to semi-experience, who are not ready for those expectations. Have an inviting and encouraging mindset when talking to inexperienced players. The last point is try to think from the other perspective and act with respect. That's the whole goal for this community, is that final point. The next part I want to touch on is some of our people add about how an individual can get into the end content. Do not be afraid to fail. Everyone fails. Even the best players suck. Being honest with your experience level. Honesty and communication are very important to grow the in-game content community. Because if new players are not honest about their skill level, then the experienced gamers will be even more gatekeeping. And if the experienced players will be even more gatekeeping. And then the flip side, if the experienced gamers are not able to communicate well and how and why you should do things, then the new players will be frustrated and might not take it the best way and will not like the content. The next part is play with friends and guildies. Practice mechanical skills. Know your class, sell the knowledge of your class, and learn out the content. The best thing you can do is look up resources online. Either look up resources online or you can ask other people for help. Like, I asked plenty of people to teach me different builds. The most recently, I asked Nike to help me learn Braidstorm, and it went really well. Now I can do big damage with it. That was a lot of information. There was still more that I could add, but I think this is a good overview of what you all said. Again, thank you all for responding. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, I'm out.